somewhere tonight, like right at this very second, someone is falling in love over intense, chlorine-scented poolside eye contact.
Oh, absolutely.
And somewhere else, someone is actively ignoring a parade of bright red, flashing warning flags simply because the person holding them has, magnificent obliques.
Which is so real. It happens every day.
Right. And somewhere, someone is already planning a destination wedding and picking out linen napkins after having exactly two moderately okay conversations about their favorite color.
Yep.
Babes, this is absolute Love Island energy, and it is alive and well in the world tonight.
It is the defining energy of our times. Like the absolute delusion, the unchecked romance of it all.
It really is.
It's a complete suspension of logic in favor of pure, unadulterated vibes.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And let's be abundantly clear right off the top. You listening to this right now, you are an absolute bombshell.
Total main character energy. I mean, you would turn every head at the fire pit.
Literally every head. I know you've got your wine poured. I know you are settled in on the couch with us. And we are fully 100% here for all the mess today.
Oh, we have so much to unpack.
We really do. But before we get into the absolute chaos of the villa, I need to talk to you, our absolute favorite member of the Snark squad, about a massive life choice we made this week.
A very questionable life choice.
So questionable. We spiraled into a YouTube rabbit hole, as one does, and we decided to try this trend. Babes, we ordered food from a completely random amateur internet chef.
A local person.
Probably.
With a kitchen. And an Instagram account.
That's it.
That is the absolute extent of their credentials.
I am still reeling from the psychological warfare of this decision, because hitting confirm order on a meal prepared by a stranger in their own unsanctioned, uninspected apartment kitchen is like the ultimate modern trust fall.
Truly.
It is a leap of faith that I was just not prepared for emotionally.
It's deeply unhinged behavior, honestly. It is a complete suspension of all self-preservation instincts.
Complete.
You are essentially looking at a photo of mashed potatoes on an app and saying, yes, I will entrust my gastrointestinal health to user Chef Boyardov 420, who lives 3 blocks away.
Right. Like, we had no idea about their cross-contamination protocol.
None. We didn't know if they owned a hairnet. For all we knew, they were stirring the sauce with a plastic comb. It's terrifying.
Pure faith. Blindly walking into the culinary dark. But the menu, let me just paint this picture for you.
Please do.
We are talking about homemade garlic butter mashed potatoes, perfectly blistered green beans, Tuscan chicken bathed in this incredible sun-dried tomato cream sauce, and Alfredo pasta that looked like it was spun by angels.
It looked ridiculous.
And my reaction, when we actually opened those little styrofoam containers, I was fully expecting to immediately call poison control, but instead I had a spiritual awakening.
It was life-changing.
It was absolutely amazing. Like, close your eyes, hum while you chew, text your ex amazing. The Alfredo was clinging to the pasta exactly how Kinsey clings to drama.
It really was a triumph, which makes the whole trust fall that much more confusing.
I know.
But this whole experience of taking a massive leap of faith and being rewarded with incredible flavor brings us directly to the absolute tragedy happening on our television screens.
Yes, because this profoundly emotional food experience made me realize something. We need to channel our inner chef energy immediately, but more importantly, we need to talk about the food on Love Island.
We have to.
Because after eating that Tuscan chicken, looking at what these beautiful people are forced to consume in Fiji is legitimately depressing. Babes, it looks consistently mid-tier at absolute best.
Mid-tier is a generous compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like the concept of seasoning has been legally banned from the premises.
Why does the villa food always look like it was prepared in a hospital cafeteria in 1994? I am looking at their plates, and it is just beige.
So beige.
Beige eggs, beige toast, beige chicken breasts that look like they would physically bounce if you dropped them on the decking.
They probably would.
And nobody, literally no islander, ever is excited about a meal unless the meal is directly adjacent to some sort of explosive drama. They only care about the avocado toast if someone is getting dumped over it.
It's true. Food in the villa is merely a prop for confrontation. It's like a physical object to hold so your hands don't shake while you're lying to your partner.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But let's look at the mechanics of this. Why is the food so bad? Is it just because 20-somethings don't know how to cook? Partially. But I think there is a deeper layer of producer manipulation at play here.
Wait, producer manipulation, how?
Are they intentionally keeping the food bland to keep the islanders on edge? Think about it. Irritability breeds conflict.
Oh, wow.
Right. If you give them a beautiful, rich garlic butter Alfredo, they're going to experience a dopamine rush, get lethargic, and take a nap.
That makes so much sense.
If you give them unseasoned, dry chicken and half a bruised apple, their blood sugar is unstable, they are cranky, and they are significantly more likely to start screaming at each other over a stray glance.
Oh my gosh, the lack of seasoning is a producer manipulation tactic. You are a genius. They are actively suppressing the culinary arts to keep the islanders feral.
Exactly. Keep them hungry, keep them angry. It is reality TV 101.
Well, this brings up a crucial question. I need you, sitting at home, to think about this too. If you were trapped in that villa, going out of your mind with boredom, bad flirting, and sensory deprivation, who would be your dream chef to cook for you?
Okay, this is a good question.
Let's just wildly debate this. Are we bringing in a celebrity chef, a messy reality TV personality, or just a completely unqualified but blindly confident person from the internet?
See, my instinct is to bring in someone completely unqualified but aggressively confident.
Really? Why?
Like one of the islanders themselves who swears they make the best scrambled eggs in the world, and then it's just a rubbery puck of despair. The entertainment value of blind, unearned confidence in the kitchen is unmatched. It perfectly mirrors the blind, unearned confidence they have in their relationships.
No, absolutely not. I need Gordon Ramsay in there.
Gordon Ramsay.
Not even necessarily for the food, but I need him to stand at the pass and scream at Sincere.
Okay, that would be incredible.
I need him to hold 2 pieces of bread against Zach's head and make him call himself an idiot sandwich. That is the culinary experience I require for this show. I need someone to verbally dress them down while flipping a perfectly seared scallop.
Okay, yes. The therapeutic value of Gordon Ramsay verbally destroying the toxic men in the villa would be top-tier television.
Right.
But consider a messy reality TV crossover. Imagine a Real Housewife in there cooking.
Oh my God.
Imagine Teresa Giudice flipping a table full of unseasoned villa eggs because someone insulted her family. The sheer terror in the islanders' eyes as a table of beige food goes flying through the humid Fiji air.
Oh, the chaos. I would pay premium cable prices for that crossover. But babes, enough about Alfredo, delusion, and villa cafeteria crimes. Let's get into Love Island.
Let's do it. There is a staggering amount of behavioral psychology to unpack today.
Let's start with the immediate fallout from the recoupling. Because if we are talking about bland villa food lacking flavor, we have to talk about the incredibly bland apologies and the spicy, toxic lies served up by the men the morning after the recoupling.
A tasting menu of manipulation, if you will.
Yes. The audacity of the men in this house was truly a Michelin star experience of gaslighting. Let's get right into Sincere and Melanie's Say Less reunion.
Oh, this is tough to watch.
Sincere stands at the fire pit, chooses Melanie, sends Saul packing back to the single beds, and then immediately pulls Melanie into the speakeasy for a makeout session.
Just zero hesitation.
And Sincere has the absolute unmitigated nerve to look into Melanie's eyes, stroke her hair, and claim he was stressed all night.
Stressed all night, sure.
Stressed all night. Meanwhile, the footage literally shows him in bed, heavily making out with Saul the night before. How on earth are you stressed when you are actively swapping DNA with the bombshell in the dark?
Well, let's break down what he's actually doing there, because the level of psychological reframing is astounding. He is utilizing a classic Darvo-adjacent technique. He's not quite attacking her, but he is reversing the victim role.
Wow, okay, explain that.
He is trying to present himself to Melanie as a tortured romantic hero who is agonizing over a painful decision. He wants her to believe his soul was in turmoil.
When he was just having a great time.
Exactly. In reality, he was fully enjoying the buffet. He tells Melanie she feels like home, which, if you actually translate that from reality TV fuckboy speak into English, is the ultimate manipulation tactic.
Okay, what does feels like home actually mean in this context? Break it down for me.
It translates to, I went out, I had my fun, I tasted the forbidden fruit, and then I realized that maintaining a new connection required too much actual effort and vulnerability.
Oh, wow.
So I'm returning to my comfortable safe space where I know you have zero boundaries and will forgive me immediately. Home doesn't mean love in this context. Home means the path of least resistance. It means he doesn't have to try anymore.
That is so dark, and it is so accurate. And Melanie's delusion is just, it's painful to watch.
It's hard.
She literally declares to the camera with a completely straight face that her hot girl summer is officially over and her lover girl summer has begun.
Lover girl summer.
She actually promises Sincere that she isn't going to act out of pocket anymore. She is apologizing to him. He was the one lip-locking with the bombshell, and she is promising to behave better.
It's a masterclass in shifting the blame.
Yeah.
What's truly fascinating here is how sincere frames his return to Melanie.
Right.
He tells her it's going to take more than a pretty face to win him over. First of all, he completely plagiarized those words from Casey. We heard Casey say that exact phrase 3 days ago.
Wait, he did. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. Second, he's actively devaluing Saul, the woman he was just intimately involved with, to boost Melanie's ego. He's reducing Saul to just a pretty face to make Melanie feel like she has superior substance.
That's so manipulative.
He essentially used Saul as a pawn, like a shiny object, to punish Melanie for kissing other guys during the challenge last week.
It is so gross. It's like reading a poorly written, highly toxic, dark romance novel where the villain genuinely thinks he's the hero of the story.
Totally.
He punished Melanie by parading Saul around, whispering sweet nothings into Saul's ear, making Saul think she actually had a chance at a real connection.
He fed her a total dream.
And then, once he felt Melanie had suffered enough, once she had cried enough tears and been sufficiently humbled in front of the group, he swooped back in as her savior.
I have to ask you, and I want you at home to think about this too, is Melanie actually fooled by this?
That's the real question.
Like, does she genuinely believe he had an epiphany? Or is she just choosing to accept the lie because she wants to make it to the finale and she knows Casa Amor is coming up?
I'm going to push back on the idea that she's purely a victim here.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't think she's entirely fooled. I think Melanie is highly aware of the game mechanics. There is a massive sunk cost fallacy at play.
Oh, the sunk cost fallacy is so real. She has invested weeks of emotional energy into Mo's peace. Sincere. She has cried over him on national television. She has fought other women for him. To admit right now that he's playing her means admitting she went through all that humiliation for absolutely nothing.
She looks so silly.
Exactly. It is psychologically much easier to believe the fantasy that he just had a moment of weakness but ultimately chose her. Plus, she knows how this show works.
Right. She wants to survive.
Being in a solid, dramatic, overcoming the odds couple gets you screen time. It gets you brand deals. It gets you public votes. If she dumps him now, she's single right before Casa Amor, and she's vulnerable. She is making a calculated decision to endure his toxicity for the sake of survival.
I hear what you're saying about the game mechanics, but I can't give her that much credit for being calculated.
You don't think so?
When she looked at him in the speakeasy, her eyes were practically sparkling with adoration. I think she's deeply, profoundly in the delusion. She thinks she's the exception to his rule.
Time will tell.
But speaking of people playing the game with zero regard for human casualties, we have to pivot to the absolute wreckage of the Kenzie, Corbin, and Caleb triangle.
The empty mailbox saga. A truly chilling sequence of events.
I am still spiraling over this. Kenzie and Corbin sneak back together, which, let's be honest, we all knew was going to happen. They have that toxic magnetic pull.
Yeah, that was inevitable.
But then Kenzie drops this little nugget of information to Corbin. She admits that she told Jen, who she suddenly calls the only person she trusts in the villa, about their secret kiss on the terrace.
Which is wild.
First of all, the White Walker alliance forming between Jen and Kenzie is a whole other terrifying dynamic.
Yeah.
They're going to run that villa like a mafia state. But then Kenzie decides to pull Caleb for a chat.
The performative sympathy chat. The let me let you down easy conversation that is actually entirely about soothing the ego of the person doing the dumping.
Exactly. She pulls him over to the daybed, does the sad puppy dog eyes, tilts her head, and claims that the recoupling ceremony wasn't how she wanted things to go.
Such a lie.
Stop the tape. We literally saw her standing there with a massive smirk on her face when Caleb opened his mailbox and found it completely empty.
She was beaming.
She was physically holding back a laugh while this man was publicly humiliated on national television. How can she sit there and say it wasn't how she wanted it to go?
Because if she didn't want it to go that way, she wouldn't have engineered it to go that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't have spent 3 days telling Caleb he was your 2030 vision, which, by the way, is a hilariously mangled phrase if you weren't trying to keep him on the hook.
It's 2020. Who says 2030 vision?
She actively orchestrated his humiliation because she wanted the ego boost of having 2 men desperately waiting on her decision. The smirk was the mask slipping. The smirk was her realizing, wow, I have total power in this dynamic.
She loved it.
And the apology the next day. That's just her trying to manage her edits so she doesn't look like the villain to the public.
The ego boost is exactly it. She wanted to be the main character of a 2000s teen movie love triangle. She wanted them fighting over her in the rain.
Total movie moment for her.
But let's talk about Caleb's reaction, because while I do feel a tiny bit bad for him being laughed at, I am also losing my mind over his utter delusion.
He really spiraled.
He starts complaining to anyone with a pulse about how he wanted a fairy tale ending with Kenzie. He flat out refuses to be friends with her, but then he says, and I quote, he's mad he didn't get his fairy tale, and at least he didn't waste time cutting pancakes into hearts for her.
This is where we have to unpack the sociology of Caleb. Caleb represents the absolute danger of projecting your own fantasy onto a reality TV scenario.
He really does.
Let's look at the timeline. He knew Kenzie for, what, 3 days? 4 days maximum? And he is actively mourning a fairy tale ending.
3 days. It's insane.
He came into that villa wearing his cowboy boots, expecting to immediately find a docile woman and ride off into the sunset. The pancake comment is incredibly revealing about his mindset.
Wait, unpack the pancakes for me. What does that actually mean?
It's the transactional view of romance. He is upset that his performative gestures of romance, the theoretical heart-shaped pancakes, didn't yield a guaranteed return on investment.
Ah, I see.
It's the core tenet of the nice guy trope. I put nice tokens into the Kenzie machine, I was polite, I listened to her complain about Corbin, therefore a relationship is owed to me.
Oh my God, the nice tokens.
When the relationship doesn't fall out of the machine, he feels robbed. He feels like the contract was breached. But there was no contract.
Yes, it is peak nice guy energy. It reminds me of this guy I went on one date with years ago. He bought me a $12 appetizer, and when I told him I didn't feel a spark and didn't want a second date, he sent me a multi-paragraph text about how he invested in me and I wasted his time.
Wow. A $12 investment.
Caleb is doing the exact same thing. Maybe she was sitting on Corbin's lap 24 hours ago. She was giggling in his face. Why are you blindsided? You cannot claim to be blindsided when the red flags are literally hitting you in the face at terminal velocity.
Exactly. He ignored the reality of her behavior because he was so attached to the narrative of his own entrance as the heroic cowboy bombshell who sweeps the distressed girl off her feet.
He wanted to be the hero.
He's not actually grieving Kenzie as a person. He doesn't even know her. He's grieving the storyline he thought he was going to get. He's grieving his loss of control over the narrative.
That is a read, and it is painfully accurate. I need you all at home to recognize that transactional energy and run the other way.
Best.
But speaking of strange energy, let's move from the explosive lies and the messy love triangles into the couples who think they are safe.
Safe. Wait.
Using energy I've ever witnessed on television.
The stagnant waters of the safe couples. It's truly bizarre. It's a study in conflict avoidance.
Let's look at Anaya and Casey. They have officially secured their safe space in the villa. They are coasting. They talk about how they love the letter writing challenge because, as Casey so eloquently put it, the words weren't wording when they tried to speak to each other face to face.
Which is a terrifying admission for a romantic couple to make on national television.
It's so bad.
Like, we can only communicate effectively when we have time to draft, edit, and proofread our thoughts on paper. If you cannot articulate your feelings in real time, what are you going to do when you have a real-world argument about finances or where to spend the holidays? Write a formal email.
Right. Send a PDF. It is so stilted. And they are sharing these stiff little baby bird pecks in bed. They are finally making out, but it feels so obligatory, like they are fulfilling a quota for the night vision cameras.
It's totally performative.
And then the true colors show. Casey literally admits in the beach hut confessional that he regrets not giving Saul a fair shot. He is lying in bed with Anaya, playing the devoted, locked-in partner, stroking her arm, and then immediately walking into a soundproof room to tell millions of people that he wishes he had explored the bombshell.
This raises a massive question about the underlying power dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah.
I think what we are seeing is Anaya leaning fully into this pampered princess edit.
Oh, for sure.
She demands constant verbal reassurance. She demands loyalty. She requires him to constantly prove his devotion. And Casey's just playing the role of the ultimate people pleaser to avoid her wrath.
Yes, he's just agreeing with whatever she says.
He isn't actually satisfied. He's terrified. He knows that if he even glances at Saul, Anaya will have a nuclear meltdown that disrupts the entire villa.
Oh, she would burn the villa down.
So what does he do? He suppresses his actual desires, stays in the safe couple, and resents her quietly. This isn't a slow burn romance. It's a hostage situation built entirely on a foundation of avoiding conflict.
A hostage situation? I am screaming, but you are so right. He is terrified of her reaction, so he just nods and smiles and gives her a peck on the lips and dreams of what could have been.
It's bleak.
It's so bleak. And speaking of bleak and zero romantic tension, we have
Yeah.
to talk about Bryce and Trinity.
The most confusing duo to ever step foot in Fiji. I am endlessly fascinated by how little chemistry two conventionally attractive people can have.
I watched their conversation about music, and I genuinely felt like I had accidentally sat on the remote and changed the channel to a documentary on public radio.
It was so dry.
Bryce is sitting there talking in this absolute monotone drone about how his stepdad introduced him to vinyl records. They are discussing the acoustics of a room. Bryce says he wants a partner to build something with, which sounds like a line from a LinkedIn networking event.
Truly.
And he asks her zero questions about her actual life, her passions, or dreams.
It's purely transactional dialogue. They are just exchanging biographical data without any emotional inflection.
It is giving heavy, heavy friendship vibes. I have an analogy for this. Watching Bryce and Trinity flirt is exactly like watching two mid-level accountants making polite small talk at a mandatory corporate retreat coffee station.
That is so accurate.
Whoa, you like spreadsheets. I also enjoy data entry. Shall we synergize our deliverables before the Key 3 meeting?
Let's circle back on that romance.
Exactly. There is zero heat. There is zero passion. They are just occupying space next to each other to survive the next round of cuts. And just to highlight how weird Bryce's physical energy is, the editors gave us a scene of Zach giving Bryce a deep tissue professional massage on the daybed.
Which honestly had infinitely more physical chemistry and tension than any conversation Bryce has had with Trinity the entire season.
Literally, there was more palpable tension between Zach's hands and Bryce's deltoids than there has ever been between Bryce and Trinity. It's absurd.
It's comical.
But speaking of Zach, let's unpack the absolute sweaty desperation this man has to dump Kata.
It is becoming physically hard to watch. He is actively campaigning against his own couple while pretending to be the victim.
He is reading Kata's sweet, heartfelt letter, and he jokes about framing it and reading it at their wedding. He is saying all the right things to her face. He is playing the part of the smitten boy.
Right.
To her face.
But behind her back, the second she walks away, he is moving through the villa like a shady used car salesman trying to pawn Kata off on Caleb.
He really is.
He literally pulls Caleb aside, puts a hand on his shoulder, and is like, "Hey, mate, rough go with Kenzie? So tough. But you know who you should talk to? Kata. You should definitely pull Kata for a chat. She's great. Highly recommend."
Let's analyze the strategy here, because Zach thinks he is playing 4D chess, but he's actually playing checkers with the board upside down. Why do you think he's pushing so incredibly hard for Caleb to intervene?
Oh, because Zach is absolutely terrified of looking like the bad guy to the public.
He knows the timeline. He knows Casa Amor is coming up in a matter of days. He wants to walk into Casa Amor totally single, unattached, and ready to mingle without any guilt. But if he just dumps Kata out of nowhere right now, after she wrote him that sweet letter, America will hate him.
He'd get the villain edit immediately.
He will get the villain edit, and he loses his shot at the prize money. But if Caleb swoops in and steals Kata, Zach gets to play the ultimate victim.
It's the perfect out.
He gets to be the sad, single guy whose girl was taken from him. He gets to look crestfallen around the fire pit, leaving him perfectly positioned to go find true love in Casa Amor completely guilt-free. It is a sneaky, calculated, diabolical game of producer manipulation.
It's incredibly transparent if you understand the mechanics of reality TV editing. He's actively trying to produce his own storyline. He wants the heartbroken boy finds redemption arc.
Which we've seen a million times.
Exactly. But he's executing it so clumsily, he's practically physically shoving Kata into Caleb's arms, and Caleb is just standing there, staring blankly, talking about sushi and wine, completely missing the blatant cues Zach is throwing at him.
Caleb is too busy crying over his unmade heart-shaped pancakes to realize Zach is trying to hand him a lifeline.
He's totally oblivious.
It's a total mess of missed signals. And rounding out our safe couples, we have Gabe and Jen, the undercover chaos coordinators of the villa.
The absolute ASMR nightmare.
Truly. First, Gabe reveals he wrote his letter to Jen in Portuguese, then translated it into English for her, which, whatever, it's a cute parlor trick.
Very performative.
Corbin was incredibly jealous of the Chico energy and immediately looked like he wanted to download Duolingo. But the reality of Gabe and Jen's dynamic is that they literally have no substantive conversations. We never see them talk about their lives.
Never.
They have a chat that lasts exactly 14 seconds. They say, I like you too. And then they dive completely under the duvet covers and make the most aggressive, wet, loud kissing noises known to mankind.
It's purely physical, which, fine, it's a dating show, physical chemistry is important. But when you are trying to survive public votes on a show where the audience demands a narrative journey, you need a story.
Right. We need a plot.
You need an arc. Making out heavily in a shared bedroom full of other people who are desperately trying to sleep is not a compelling long-term narrative. In fact, it actively alienates the audience.
It's irritating. It's irritating for the islanders. It's irritating for us at home. Physical intimacy without emotional vulnerability is a shield. They are hiding under those covers so they don't have to actually talk to each other.
Exactly.
Which brings us to the climax of the week's events. Let's transition from the couples pretending everything is perfectly fine to the absolute reality check delivered by Saul.
This was the confrontation we were all waiting for. This was the pressure valve finally releasing.
Saul finally pulls Sincere for a chat, and she completely unleashes. She doesn't yell, she doesn't scream, she just systematically dismantles him.
It was beautiful to watch.
She tells him directly that he is not an honest person. She tells him he was blowing smoke up her ass. And the absolute kicker, the best part of the entire exchange, she looks him dead in the eye and says, "If Melanie was always in the back of your mind, you should have just admitted that to me from the jump. You didn't have to lie."
Which strikes right at the core of the issue.
Yeah.
The crime isn't that he realized he had stronger feelings for his original partner. People change their minds on this show all the time.
Right.
The crime is the deceit. It's the active, calculated choices he made to obscure the truth, to lead Saul on, and to use her as a prop to manage his own ego.
And Sincere's defense is so pathetically weak, he realizes he's cornered, so he hits her with the classic manipulator playbook. He shrinks back and says, "We're all human, and you can't walk around like you're an angel." I literally screamed at my television, "What did she do wrong?" Saul rightfully looks at him, totally baffled, and asks, "What have I done wrong? What exactly am I guilty of besides talking to you?"
And he had nothing.
And he has absolutely no answer. He just mumbles into his drink because he has no receipts.
What's fascinating here is Sincere's absolute inability to sit in his own guilt. When confronted with his bad behavior, instead of apologizing and taking accountability, he immediately tries to distribute the blame.
Typical.
By telling Saul she's no angel, he's employing a classic deflection technique. He's trying to drag her down to his moral level so he doesn't feel like the sole villain in the narrative. If everyone is bad, then his bad behavior isn't exceptional.
That makes sense.
And when that doesn't work, because Saul refuses to accept blame for his lies, he just shuts down completely.
He shorts out, and then, like a true coward, he runs straight back to Melanie and soul ties to soften the blow. He knows that Saul might go talk to Melanie and expose exactly what happened, so he has to get ahead of the narrative.
Damage control.
He has to control the flow of information, and how does he frame it to Melanie? He sits down, sighs heavily, and says, "Yeah, I just talked to Saul. She was just dropping F-bombs at me. She was so angry."
Such a liar.
He totally reduces her incredibly valid, articulate call-out of his character into, "She was just cursing at me." He completely hides the fact that Saul exposed his lies.
It's a textbook minimization tactic. He minimizes her reaction to invalidate her entire argument. If he paints Saul to Melanie as just angry, irrational, and swearing, then Melanie doesn't have to engage with why Saul was angry.
Wow.
It protects his position. It makes Saul look crazy and makes him look like the victim of her unprovoked wrath.
It is so calculated, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
But the karma train arrives quickly in the villa because right after that, here comes Ariana Maddox strutting in.
Oh, the walk.
First of all, the new Bob, flawless, 10 out of 10, no notes. She looks incredible.
The styling is impeccable. She commands the space the second she walks in.
She lines everyone up at the fire pit, the dramatic music swells, and she reveals the results of America's vote. The top 4 safe couples are Melanie and Sincere, Kata and Zach, Anaya and Casey, and Trinity and Bryce.
Okay, the safe ones.
Which means the bottom 3 couples are vulnerable to being dumped. Kenzie and Corbin, Jen and Gabe, and Caleb and Saul.
Now this is where the heavy hand of producer manipulation becomes glaringly obvious. We have to look at the mechanics of this dumping.
Yes, because why didn't they just dump the couple with the lowest public votes? Why add a twist?
Because if they executed a straight public dumping based purely on the vote tallies, Kenzie and Corbin were almost certainly going home. Kenzie is deeply unpopular with the viewing public right now because of how maliciously she treated Caleb, and Corbin is just collateral damage in her wake.
Completely.
But from a production standpoint, Kenzie is the golden goose. She is incredible television.
She really is.
She is pure, unfiltered chaos. She generates storylines just by walking into a room. The producers simply cannot afford to lose her right before Casa Amor. They need her to create a mess when the new boys arrive.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
So instead of letting the public decide, the producers introduce a specific twist. The safe islanders have to vote to eliminate, and they split it by gender. The boys dump a girl, and the girls dump a boy.
It perfectly guarantees Kenzie's safety, because the Islanders are never, ever going to dump an OG cast member who is actively their friend. It is a rigged system.
It's highly produced reality. They gave the illusion of choice while completely controlling the outcome.
So the gender split elimination happens. The girls deliberate, and they have to dump a boy. They vote out Gabe, and Melanie is the one chosen to stand up and deliver the speech.
Yeah, that was interesting.
She claims Gabe is always looking for the next best thing and won't ever settle down. Basically, they dumped him for playing a dating show the exact way it's supposed to be played. He explored his options, and let's be real, this was just late justice for how coldly he treated B earlier in the season. The girls were holding a grudge.
It was absolutely a delayed karma vote for B.
Yeah.
But you're right, the stated logic is fundamentally flawed. They eliminate him for exploring connections, on a show entirely based on exploring connections. It shows that the girls value loyalty to the group over the actual premise of the show.
But the boys' decision, this is what sent me into an absolute spiral. The boys have to dump a girl. Zach, the puppet master, leads the charge against Saul. He argues that Saul shouldn't stay because she isn't in a progressive couple with Caleb.
Progressive couple? I mean, come on.
Meanwhile, KC, the ultimate people-pleaser, openly admits to the boys that he would totally explore a connection with Saul if she stayed. He literally says he is interested. But when it comes time to vote, he completely folds under the pressure and agrees to dump her just to keep the peace with the boys and avoid Anai's wrath.
Casey's lack of a spine in that deliberation is glaring. He had the power to swing the vote. He could have advocated to keep a woman he was genuinely interested in, which would have created an incredible storyline and a real connection.
It would have been great TV.
Instead, he chose the path of least resistance. The boys operate on this weird bro code, where maintaining the status quo of the group is more important than anyone actually finding love.
And the absolute cherry on top of this toxic sundae, the boys choose Sincere, the man who lied to Saul, used her as a pawn, manipulated her, and gaslit her to stand up and deliver the dumping speech.
It's brutal. It's a flex of pure power.
I have another analogy for this. Sincere, standing up at the fire pit, looking solemn, and delivering the dumping speech to Saul is exactly like the murderer being asked to deliver the eulogy at the victim's funeral.
Oh, that's dark, but true.
It is diabolical. He is standing there, using his serious voice, saying, based on what has happened recently, when HE is the one who made it happen. He engineered her downfall specifically so she would be removed from the house and couldn't expose his lies to Melanie.
I will take that analogy a step further. It is the ultimate act of silencing. By delivering the speech, he asserts dominance. She gets her out of the villa before the truth of his behavior can fully infect the ecosystem of the house.
He silenced her.
It's self-preservation disguised as a heavy-hearted group consensus. He eliminated his biggest threat.
It legitimately made me sick to my stomach. But Saul did not go quietly into that good night. She delivered an absolute mic drop exit speech.
It was iconic.
She stands up, looks around at these terrified, conflict-avoidant people, and thanks them for putting her out of her misery. She looks them dead in the eye and calls the villa Couples Island because everyone is so aggressively closed off and terrified to actually date.
She nailed it. It was a perfectly articulated critique of the season's sociological dynamic so far. They aren't dating. They are surviving.
But we have to debate this because there are two sides here. I need to know your take. Did Saul fail as a bombshell by not pulling enough guys aggressively, or was the villa actually too locked down and toxic for her to ever succeed?
I'm going to say she failed as a bombshell, and I will defend that.
Really? Okay, defend it.
If we look at the history of iconic reality TV bombshells, the greats who shake up the house, they do not wait for permission to play the game. They do not wait to be approached.
Sure.
They walk in, they identify the strongest, most stable couple, and they actively pull them apart just to see if they can. Saul played it far too passively. She waited for Sincere to come to her. She didn't pull KC for a chat, even though she knew he was her type and he was unhappy. She expected the men to do the heavy lifting of the courtship.
I hear that, but I have to aggressively push back. I have to defend my girl, Saul.
Go for it.
Yes. psychological environment of that specific villa.
Mhm.
It is impenetrable. The girls have this White Walker mafia alliance where if you even look at one of their men, they ice you out completely and make your life a living hell.
The girls are definitely a tough crowd.
And the men are operating under this weird, unspoken cowards pact where they won't step on each other's toes. Plus, Sincere was love-bombing her so hard in the beginning, feeding her this absolute dream of a connection that she thought she didn't need to pull anyone else.
That's a good point about the love bombing.
He gave her a false sense of security specifically to trap her and keep her off the market.
That is a very fair counterpoint. The love bombing paralyzed her gameplay. He effectively neutralized her utility as a bombshell by making her think the work was already done. He benched her.
Exactly. It was a systemic failure of the villa's culture, not a failure of Saul. But we have to move on because I'm heated, my blood pressure is spiking, and we need to channel this energy into our segments. I want to jump right into our first segment, the bombshell energy audit.
Let's do it. I have my list prepared.
We are going to rank each islander based on their current energy levels and their trajectory in the villa right now. Category 1. Who is currently giving main character bombshell energy?
Ironically, considering how much we have actively critiqued her psychology today, I have to give main character bombshell energy to Melanie.
Ooh, spicy. Defend this choice. Why Melanie?
Think about it from a purely narrative editorial perspective. She went through the emotional ringer. She had her cinematic, tearful, say less speakeasy moment with Sincere. She secured her man against the odds, however toxic he may be. And then she was chosen by the girls as the spokesperson to deliver the brutal dumping speech to Gabe. The camera is constantly tracking her. She is dictating the emotional temperature of the girls' dressing room.
She totally is.
She genuinely believes she is the romantic lead of the season, and production is editing the show to let her play the part. She is the protagonist right now.
I hate how right you are. She is deeply, deeply delusional, but she is absolutely the main character right now. We are watching her show. If I have to pick an alternate, I'm giving it to Saul purely for that exit speech. Going out not with tears, but by looking a room full of people in the eye and telling them they are boring and playing Couples Island is iconic behavior.
It was very strong exit.
Okay, next category. Chaos Bombshell, who is the agent of absolute chaos.
This is a runaway victory. It is Sincere.
Oh, 100%. It's not even close. Sincere is a web-spinning spider of lies.
He really is.
He's telling Melanie one thing, telling Saul another, telling the boys a third, completely different narrative to maintain his status in the pack. He is orchestrating crossfires and then acting genuinely surprised when people get shot.
Classic instigator behavior.
Yeah, the fact that he managed to use Saul to make Melanie jealous, win Melanie back, and then successfully convince the boys to execute Saul so he wouldn't get caught in his web, it is Machiavellian chaos of the highest order.
He is operating on a level of reality TV villainy that requires intense academic study. He is destabilizing the entire house for his own amusement.
He is a menace to society. Okay, third category. Background extra with plot armor, who is skating by despite giving us absolutely nothing of value or playing a terrible game.
I'm going to firmly say Zach.
Yes. Unpacked Zach's impenetrable plot armor.
Zach is a background extra who desperately thinks he's a field producer. He is coasting entirely on Kata's genuine likability and America's sympathy for her.
She is very sweet.
He has contributed almost zero authentic romantic chemistry to the villa. His primary storyline right now is trying to subtly trick other men into stealing his partner so he doesn't have to do the emotionally taxing dirty work of dumping her himself.
It's so embarrassing.
Yet, he survives every single public vote because he's attached to Kata, and the other Islanders think they're a strong couple simply because they haven't had a screaming match yet.
Yeah.
He is failing upwards.
It is infuriating plot armor. My pick for this category is Kenzie. Kenzie is playing an incredibly messy, highly manipulative game. The entire villa knows she's playing games.
They all talk about it.
The boys were literally sitting around the fire pit saying she jumps to the next guy every time someone new walks in. America clearly sees it, which is why she was in the bottom three, and yet she survives. Why?
Because of Casa Amor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because production needs her for the Casa Amor fallout, and the Islanders are too terrified of breaking the OG alliance to dump her. She has an invisible, bulletproof shield of producer protection around her.
Completely accurate. She is bulletproof until the finale.
Final category. About to be dumped energy. Who is walking around the villa like a ghost haunting the decking?
It has to be Caleb.
Poor plain apple pie, Caleb.
He's completely isolated. He is moping around the villa, whining to anyone who will listen about fairy tales and wasted pancakes. When he finally had a chat with Sol before she left, he was talking about taking girls out for sushi and wine, which is lovely in the real world, but in the hyper-accelerated environment of the villa, it translates as having absolutely zero game.
He has no riz.
None. He has no connections, no prospects, and his energy is so low it's practically subterranean. He looks like he wants to go home.
He is a walking eliminated contestant. If he doesn't find a profound, immediate connection in Casa Amor within the first 12 seconds of walking in, he is taking the next commercial flight out of Fiji.
He needs a miracle.
Okay, moving right along to our second segment, the Villa Meal Critique Panel. We are taking our harsh food critic energy from that amazing Alfredo pasta experience and applying it to the specific scenes from this week's events. We are rating the moments.
I'm ready to judge. My palate is cleansed.
Category 1. The spiciest scene. What had the most flavor? What burned going down?
Unquestionably, Saul laughing directly in Sincere's face.
Yes, it was a Michelin star moment of television.
When he tried to pull out the pathetic, we're all human, nobody's perfect excuse to justify his lying, and she just broke into genuine, incredulous laughter.
Yeah.
It was the perfect countermove.
She didn't even yell.
No, she just laughed. It completely disarmed his carefully constructed nice guy act. He expected her to yell, which he could defend against. He didn't expect her to laugh at him. The spice level was off the charts because it was a moment of pure, unadulterated reality piercing through his heavily constructed facade.
It burned him, and I loved every single second of it. Okay, category 2. The blandest conversation. What was the unseasoned, boiled chicken breast of the week?
You've already touched on it, but Bryce and Trinity talking about vinyl records.
I nearly fell into a coma on my couch.
It lacked all nutritional value for a dating show. There was no flirtation, no underlying tension, no stakes. It was a dry exposition dump about a stepfather's music collection. Yeah. It was the conversational equivalent of eating a stale rice cake while staring at a blank wall.
A stale rice cake, exactly. It sucked all the moisture out of the room. Okay, category 3. Overcooked drama. What was left on the stove way too long until it was burned, tough, and bitter.
Caleb complaining about Kenzie.
100%. Sir, we get it. You are sad.
Move on.
But you knew her for 72 hours. You are acting like she took the house, the dog, and the kids in a bitter divorce settlement. The drama was so overcooked it was inedible.
Truly inedible.
He needed to take his ego off the heat, process his bruised pride internally, and move on to the next conversation. Instead, he kept serving us the exact same burnt pancake complaints to every single person who walked past him.
It became exhausting for the viewer. We stopped feeling bad for him and started wanting him to stop talking.
Truly. And finally, category 4, undercooked romance. What looked good on the menu, had great plating, but came out completely raw in the middle.
Ananya and Casey.
Oh, the salmonella of romance.
They are presenting themselves to the group as this solid, safe, foundational couple. They wrote these profound emotional letters.
But the reality is so different.
Exactly. But when you watch them interact physically, the awkward pecks in bed, the complete lack of sustained eye contact, Casey's secret confession that he regrets not exploring soul and the romance is completely undercooked. It's raw. The internal emotional temperature is nowhere near safe for consumption.
It is a massive health hazard. If you serve that romance to a customer, the restaurant gets shut down by the health inspector immediately.
Brilliant. Okay, we're staying in the culinary world for our third segment, the Couple Compatibility Kitchen. We're going to match the current couples to specific recipes that describe their toxic or wholesome dynamics.
I love this concept. Let's assign the dishes. Recipe match number 1, the slow burn romance stew. Which couple is taking forever to prep, might currently lack a little salt, but eventually, if left on the simmer for long enough, might actually turn into a hearty, comforting meal.
By process of elimination, this has to be Anaya and Casey.
You actually think they have hope? Defends the stew.
I think they were a stew that was started with very cold water. The base ingredients are in the pot. They have a baseline physical attraction. They have shared values, but the heat is on way too low.
Casey won't turn it up.
Exactly. Casey's afraid to turn the burner up because Anaya boils over so easily at the slightest provocation. It lacks salt right now, meaning it lacks passion, spontaneity, and honest communication. But, and this is a big but, if they can actually survive the temptation of Casa Amor and learn to communicate verbally without writing formal declarations, it might eventually reduce down into something substantial. It's a big if, but they fit the slow burn profile.
I will accept that. A very timid, cautious stew. Recipe match number 2, the instant regret microwave situation. You put it in, you watch it spin, and the second the timer goes off, you realize you made a terrible, terrible mistake and want to throw it directly in the trash.
This is Zach and Kata, and Zach is standing with his finger frantically hovering over the cancel button.
He is literally staring through the glass at the spinning plate, sweating profusely.
Boy.
Zach realizes he microwaved a leftover fish dish in the communal office kitchen, and everyone in the building hates him for it.
Yeah.
He is so full of instant regret. He thought Kaida would be an easy, safe ticket through the early weeks.
And it backfired.
But now she actually likes him. The timer is ticking down to Casa Omor, and he is desperately trying to figure out how to dispose of the meal without anyone noticing he's the one who cooked it. He is literally trying to hand his hot pocket to Caleb, like, here, man, eat this. It's great. I promise. It is pure radioactive regret.
It's a perfectly apt analogy. He is trapped by his own lazy cooking choices. Recipe match number 3. The secret ingredient toxicity pasta. It looks amazing plated. The presentation's beautiful, worthy of a magazine cover. You take a bite, it tastes incredible, but 3 hours later, you are suffering from absolute crippling emotional food poisoning.
Melanie and Sincere, the signature dish of the season.
The Michelin star toxicity, they look so good together aesthetically. The physical chemistry when they are making out in the kitchen is undeniable.
But the sauce is ruined.
But the secret ingredient in the sauce is Sincere's chronic gaslighting and his pathological need to manipulate women for sport. Melanie is eating it up, thinking she's being served a luxury truffle pasta, not realizing she is actively consuming emotional E. coli.
Oh, that's vile. But true.
She is going to be violently ill when they leave the villa, and he immediately DMs 12 Instagram models from the airport lounge.
The food poisoning is inevitable. It's baked into the foundation of the recipe. It is a fatal dish. Okay, final recipe match. Sweet, but will definitely burn cookies. You put them in the oven, they look adorable, the dough is great, but you know someone is going to get distracted and leave them in until they are black, smoking hockey pucks.
Kenzie and Corbin.
Explain the burnt cookies to me.
Right now, they are in the sweet phase. They survive the dumping. They are cuddling in the speakeasy. It's all sugar, butter, and vanilla extract. But Kenzie is the baker in this scenario, and Kenzie has a severe attention span problem.
She really does.
The absolute second a new, shiny bombshell walks through those villa doors, Kenzie's going to walk right out of the kitchen to go look at him. She is going to forget the timer entirely.
And Corbin is just left there.
And Corbin is just going to be left sitting in the oven, burning to a crisp, wondering what happened to the sweet relationship they had 10 minutes ago.
She will leave him to char while she is off tasting the new batter. It is a guaranteed disaster. The fire alarm is already going off in my head just thinking about it. Okay, this brings us to our final and perhaps most crucial segment of the day. Segment 4. The Dream Chef Draft.
To fix these cafeteria crimes once and for all.
Exactly. The villa food is a crime scene, and we are sending in a rescue team. We each get to draft an ultimate 4-person villa chef team to go in there, take over the kitchen, and fix the food while maximizing the entertainment value for us at home. We are drafting 1 celebrity chef, 1 reality TV wildcard, 1 chaotic mutual friend, and 1 wildcard pick no one asked for. You go first. Draft your celebrity chef.
I'm drafting Ina Garten, the barefoot Contessa herself.
Fina in the chaotic villa. Why?
Think about the dramatic energy shift. The villa is a place of high anxiety, neon lights, and aggressively bad communication. Ina walks in wearing a calming chambray shirt. She tells everyone to calm down.
She would be so soothing.
She roasts a perfect simple chicken with root vegetables. And most importantly, she pours aggressively large, heavy-handed glasses of good wine. She would sit down with Caleb, hand him a massive goblet of Pinot Noir, look him warmly in the eye and say, "Store-bought fairy tales are fine, but have you considered moving on?" She would heal their inner children.
Okay, that is profound. You want to heal them. I want to break them. My celebrity chef is Gordon Ramsay.
Important. Of course.
I said it earlier. I stand firmly by it. I need him waking the Islanders up at 6 a.m. by banging pots and pans together. I need him standing over Anaya and KC while they awkwardly try to fry an egg, screaming, "The egg has more passion than your relationship. It's raw." He would break their spirits, and it would be incredible television.
Pure chaos. Okay, round 2. The reality TV wild card. Who are you putting in the kitchen to stir the pot?
I am drafting Ariana Maddox. She already has The Incredible Bob. She's already the host, but she also literally wrote a cocktail book.
Oh, that's a good point.
She is a seasoned bartender and a restaurateur. I want her behind the villa bar, mixing dangerously strong, complex cocktails while subtly dropping reality check bombs on the girls. Like, oh, Sincere told you he was stressed last night? That's interesting. Let me add some bitters to your drink. You're gonna need it. She would stir the drinks and stir the drama simultaneously.
A strong tactical pick. But for my reality TV wildcard, I am drafting Nene Leakes.
Oh my God. The power of that pick.
Imagine Nene in that kitchen. She isn't even cooking. She refuses to touch a spatula. She is just sitting on the counter, eating the limited supply of green grapes and observing.
Judging everyone.
Sincere walks in to lie to Melanie, and Nene just hits him with, I said what I said. What you said was a lie. She would see right through the producer manipulation. She would publicly call out Zach for trying to pawn Kata off. The Islanders would be absolutely terrified to enter the kitchen.
Nene would have Sincere crying in the bathroom within 10 minutes of arriving. That is a brilliant draft pick.
Yeah.
Okay, round 3. The chaotic wildcard friend. We all have one in our real lives. Who from our personal lives are we sending in?
I am drafting our friend Sarah.
Sarah. Oh no. Please explain.
Yes, Sarah, who has never successfully followed a written recipe in her entire life without substituting 3 core ingredients because she felt like it.
She really hasn't.
She would go into the villa, attempt to make a lasagna, substitute the ricotta for cottage cheese and the pasta for sliced zucchini, and ruin the entire thing to the bottom of the pan. But while she is actively ruining the dinner, she would be aggressively psychoanalyzing Kenzie.
With zero boundary.
Sarah has absolutely zero filter. She would literally hand Kenzie a burnt zucchini slice and say, you know you only like Corbin because he ignored you for an hour, right? Eat this and think about your daddy issues.
Sarah would completely dismantle the villa psychology while actively giving them food poisoning. I love it. I am drafting my friend Greg. Greg's entire culinary repertoire consists of using an air fryer for things that should absolutely never be air fried. He would try to air fry soup.
He would try.
But Greg's true power is that he is incredibly nosy and loves to insert himself into drama that has absolutely nothing to do with him. He would be air frying hot dogs while standing directly between Bryce and Trinity, forcing them to answer deeply uncomfortable questions about their childhood trauma. He would be the ultimate conversational disruptor.
Greg would force Bryce to show an actual human emotion. That is powerful.
Exactly. Okay, final round. The wild card pick no one asked for. This can be anything. A person, an object, a concept.
My final pick is Sincere.
Wait, you are drafting Sincere to cook?
I am drafting Sincere specifically to serve a word salad.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't touch the stove. He doesn't chop an onion. He just stands in the dead center of the kitchen, tossing empty, contradictory phrases into a giant wooden bowl. We're all human. You're not an angel. It takes more than a pretty face.
Just tossing the salad.
He serves it to the girls, and they all just eat it up, completely confused, just somehow feeling satisfied. It's a conceptual dish.
A conceptual word salad. That is so dark and so accurate to his behavior. Okay, my wild card pick no one asked for is Caleb's unmade theoretical heart-shaped pancakes.
The ghost pancakes.
The ghost pancakes. I want a physical plate of invisible, sad cowboy pancakes sitting on the kitchen island at all times as a monument to male delusion. A constant reminder to the villa that just because you brought the maple syrup doesn't mean anyone actually asked you to make breakfast.
That is a profound culinary statement on the nature of transactional dating.
I think my kitchen team wins purely on psychological damage output. But look at the time, babes. We have spiraled so deep into this villa madness today. We need to wrap this up.
It has been a massive journey from Tuscan chicken to toxic men.
It really has. But I need you, sitting at home right now, to get involved. I need you to jump into the comments, hit us up on the socials, because we need answers to these very important questions. First, what is your ultimate, absolute dream meal? If you were trusting an internet stranger with your gastrointestinal health, what are they cooking for you?
Second question. Who would you trust to cook for you in the villa to save you from the beige eggs? Who is your absolute dream chef draft pick?
Third, we need your votes. Which Islander is giving the ultimate bombshell energy right now, and who is giving about to be dumped ghost energy? Do you agree with our audit?
And finally, a personal one. What was your most chaotic food decision ever? Did you eat gas station sushi? Did you trust a late-night food truck that looks suspicious? Confess your culinary sins to us.
We want all the messy details. Thank you so much for hanging out, drinking wine, and spiraling with us today. You know the drill. Please like this video, leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we are building this community and you are the absolute heart of it. And please, share this with your reality TV bestie. Share it with another snarker who desperately needs to hear the truth about Sincere's conceptual word salads.
It's important to spread the awareness. It's a public service, really.
It really is. So before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over while you evaluate your own life choices and dinner plans. We have spent this entire time judging Sincere, judging Kenzie, and ripping apart their toxic, manipulative gameplay.
As we should.
But think about this. If we, the audience, refuse to vote for the stable, boring couples, and we actively vote to keep the agents of chaos like Kenzie safe just because they entertain us, are we actually the most toxic manipulators in this entire dynamic?
Wait.
Are we forcing these people to break each other's hearts just so we have something to watch while we eat our Tuscan chicken? Let that terrifying thought marinate.
Chilling. We are the ultimate villains.
Until next time, stay spicy, stay delulu, and we'll see you on the snark side.